And they just re-released this book, which I had read like 6 or 7 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. I believe it had been out of print, and then they re-released it as a Penguin classic, along with a new recording of an audiobook. I think it might be the first audiobook release of it. And the book is by a writer named Harry Crews, and it's called The Knockout Artist. And I've been listening to that. It's a book about this boxer who he's like an amateur boxer who this random retired boxer and coach kind of scouts him out and starts training him. And he does really well at first, and then in this fight, he has basically a career-ending injury where he gets knocked out, and it gives him basically what they call a glass jaw. It's kind of surreal the way they described it. I don't know how well the story is. Once I get to it later on, it's like kind of crazy, the narrative. But so basically, after that last fight, he can get knocked out really easily. Like anytime someone hits him, he gets knocked out right away. And so he doesn't know this, and then they do like 2 or 3 more fights. He gets knocked out right away, and then his coach, who scouted him out, kind of abandons him, and then he's kind of left to fend for himself. And then soon after that, I think there's like a flashback of his history. And then after that, he gets discovered once again by this woman who sees his ability to be knocked out as like a way to exploit him for entertainment reasons. And so basically he starts knocking himself out in front of an audience for money. I think the first time I read it, I thought it was kind of just a sort of satire that was just surreal and kind of goofy, really. But reading it or listening to it this second time, there's a lot more deeper meaning to it. I think it's more about the exploitation of athletes and how kind of athletes are used for entertainment, and a lot of the times they're not taken care of by like contracts or by like physically, even medically. And so this guy, the boxer, he basically is continually finding himself in these situations where he's being exploited. And The Knockout Artist by Harry Crews, I was revisiting that. I had read it like 5 years ago or so, and then I've been listening to the audiobook while I sew chapbooks and stuff. And I think last time I was talking about how it started out really strong, and then there were kind of a couple chapters where I felt like it wasn't necessarily at the same level of, I wasn't as interested in it. And I was trying to remember if the first time I read it, if it kind of fizzled out. And let me tell you, I finished it. I finished listening to it, and the ending is very crazy. It's wild. The book kind of deals with like athletes and how they're kind of abused with their contracts, or their it's about like a boxer, and he kind of gets used by all these different people. But then towards the end of the book, he himself gets to train a fighter. And then it kind of, I don't want to actually spoil it, but if you have a chance to check out this book, it's called The Knockout Artist by Harry Crews. It ends very unexpectedly. It kind of goes much further than you expect with like the concepts and just kind of eccentricities of the type of people who would invest in like business and sports and stuff. It's like kind of shows you the sick side of things. And I know I didn't really say a lot else, but I finished that one. I gave it 5 stars on Spotify listening to it, so definitely recommend it.